Welcome. I would like to call the school board meeting for Tuesday, June 21st, 2022 for the Des Moines Public Schools to order. Ms. Rivera, could you please take the roll?
Yes. Ms. Maria Alonso. Ms. Maria Alonso Diaz. Ms. Bradley.
Here.
Ms. Caldwell Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Knox.
Here.
Ms. Martirano.
Here.
Ms. Norris.
Here.
Ms. Sawyer.
Here.
Before we begin our first item of business, I would like to do a check-in with everyone to see how you're doing this evening. I'd like to hear from you all before we get going with our work this evening. It's very important work, but it's not good work if we can't check in with each other first just to see how your day has been. After we do that 10-minute check-in, no more, we will begin with our official business.
I'm feeling energized.
Simply, I am tired today and will be as present with you as possible and know that I'm just excited for the conversation. Thank you.
I am present and I'm not going to say energized, but ready to handle the business of the day. We've got a lot ahead of us. But I'd like to take a point of personal privilege just to congratulate and thank our chair for an incredible week of Juneteenth activities and also for the incredible keynote last week that really lifted up our work and showed why we elected you to be our chair. Thank you. So thank you, Dewana. Hats off. Kudos. Thank you.
I am freaking out because tomorrow morning I take one son to the Air Force Academy, and then a few days later, the other to West Point. So it's all happening. Yeah. And thank you, DMPS teachers, because you are the reason that my kids succeeded. I always have to say that. Sorry.
I am feeling excited to be here. I'll echo, ready to dig into the work. But it was my 20-year class reunion this weekend from Lincoln High School. I graduated 20 years ago, and we got to do a tour of the school, which was even more beautiful than I remembered it. So kudos to our staff who have made it look even more magical and beautiful than it was 20 years ago. And just really gave me a new sense of purpose, I think, sitting at this table, and just how important that legacy is to me and how important that experience was to me, and making sure that every student in our district gets that same amazing experience. So shout out to class of 2002, Lincoln High School.
Wonderful. Well, I am excited to be here. I'm going to apologize. My voice is going to do all kinds of strange things because I am coming off of Juneteenth. It was a wonderful event. Thank you for your support. Everything that I said in that keynote, I absolutely meant. So really excited to get things going. You will not see that level of energy for me in every single board meeting we have, but I was very excited to be able to speak my truth and excited for the work that we're doing this evening. So let's get to it. First item of business is approval of the agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I would like to pull item D9 from the consent for discussion.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, I would like to pull D2 from the consent agenda, please.
Okay. So I have
Sawyer approve with
those amendments. Okay. And can I get a second?
Norris, second.
We have a motion by Ms. Sawyer and a second by Ms. Norris. Please cast your votes. The vote is approved, 6-0. Next on the agenda is our public forum. We provide speakers at the forum an opportunity to address the board for up to 3 minutes regarding items that are not on the board agenda. If anyone wishes to speak during this forum, please email rosa.rivera-hernandez@dmschools.org. Speakers will be called individually, and we ask they please state their name and address prior to providing comments. Students and minors do not have to provide their addresses. Guests of the board are encouraged to speak to matters relating to the program, services, and operations of DMPS. Please remember that Iowa law prohibits us from discussing specific employees or their job performance. Please avoid references to personalities or character attacks, as those type of comments do not contribute to the purpose for which this public forum exists. Thank you for your support of our school district. We appreciate your input. As a reminder to the board and public, this public forum is not a time for board engagement and discussion, as it is our obligation to discuss only matters posted in the public agenda for the sake of transparency and opportunity afforded to all community stakeholders. Matters requiring attention will receive appropriate staff and our board follow-up at a time after the meeting. Ms. Rivera, do we have any speakers this evening?
Yes, we do. I'd like to call Brandon Oliver. Please approach the podium. And you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Brandon Oliver. I live at 1400 Walnut Street, Des Moines, Iowa, 50309. Firstly, I need to say I have nothing wrong with SEL, transformative SEL, or Christianity. Secondly, study the history of plantations, and you will find the roots of how we got here today. It's important to remember what Malcolm X called the master's control over both the house slave and the field slave. I see, hear, and feel the way highly paid district leaders are implementing SEL work in our district to be an echo of how enslavers weaponized Christianity on plantations. As long as power and profits stay the same, it's saviorism, not equity. I see an effort to keep the workers happy so they don't run away, which is neither liberation or inclusion. I find it to be a cruel jest. Just as Christianity can be weaponized, so can social emotional learning. Like I said during the last public forum, knowing the difference between white savior complex and liberation is crucial. If liberation is done right, it will affect the power, profits, and social construct of those at the top. We cannot simultaneously maintain the status quo and strive for equity. If our children are worth accountability of highly paid leaders and ridding our system of nepotism, then highly paid district leaders need to put their money where their mouths are. For instance, I've noticed time and time again that one particular director's name simply being mentioned will receive groans, sneers, and eye rolls. I've never heard anyone say they enjoy working with them, and I have repeatedly heard complaints of his inequitable and non-harmonious relationships with staff. Knowing he has kept his power and pay for several years, I'm not convinced our highly paid district leaders as a whole think our children are worth equitable change. They keep everybody's focus on the recruitment and retention of Black and brown employees while dismissing accountability of problematic employees. Marginalized students would have less of a need for SEL if highly paid district leaders were held accountable. It saved the district a lot of time and money. Lastly, Mr. Smith, I remember your invitation a few months ago, and I apologize for not giving you a straight answer. It was an unexpected invitation. Please consider this to be my RSVP to collaboratively problem solve with you soon. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Those are all the speakers that I have signed up.
Thank you, Mr. Oliver, for your comments this evening. Next item on our agenda is district recognitions. Interim Superintendent Smith, would you please introduce?
Good evening, board and our DMPS community. This evening, I'm pleased and very proud to share a couple of special recognitions. First off, Junior Achievement of Central Iowa. As you may have heard a few weeks ago, Junior Achievement of Central Iowa named Des Moines Public Schools their 2022 School District of the Year. I'm going to go ahead and repeat that one. As you may have heard a few weeks ago, Junior Achievement named Des Moines Public Schools 2022 School District of the Year. Our partnership with Junior Achievement helps hundreds and hundreds of students from across DMPS in programs ranging from BizTown to learning about economics. I am pleased this evening to introduce Ryan Osborne, the CEO of Junior Achievement of Central Iowa, and Shannon Gerard to share more about our partnership with them, our work to support more and more students, and why DMPS is being honored for that effort. Ryan and Shannon, please come forward.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. As Matt said, my name is Ryan Osborne. I'm the president of Junior Achievement of Central Iowa. And first off, thank you for having us here this evening to share this recognition of the district. We're just blocks down the road, a little west of here on Grand Avenue as well. And Des Moines Public Schools has been our most important district for years and years and years. But really this past school year, we really saw a huge growth in the amount of students that participated in Junior Achievement across the district. So not only in JA BizTown, our K through 5 elementary programs, middle school, and then capped off with all the 8th graders attending our new JA Finance Park, also at our facility. And really looking forward to growing that partnership as we go along, especially in high school as well. But, a few years ago, we partnered with Voya. And, we really had the idea to how do we recognize the people that really advance our mission here in town? And for us, that's volunteers and educators. And so we really wanted to throw an event each year to highlight important volunteers and educators that really did an outstanding job showing a commitment to empowering their students through our financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and career readiness program. So that is why we're here today. We had a nomination process of about 6 superintendents and a couple other education leaders here in town who are part of our board of directors. And there were some nominations made, and they kind of reviewed all the activity of all the different school districts with Junior Achievement this year. And Des Moines was unanimously selected as the top district this year. So again, we have a little board here that I think Phil was going to maybe take a picture or something whenever you're ready. But we also have a glass plaque that will be sent to the district office as well, hopefully to proudly display. And again, we just appreciate the time and proud to recognize Des Moines as the Junior Achievement School District of the Year.
I just feel like I want to repeat that phrase, Des Moines Public Schools 2002 School District of the Year. Thank you for that. 2022. Oh, sorry, I was going back a few years. Yes, 2022 School District of the Year. We've got another recognition tonight. This is about the Teacher Paraeducator Apprenticeship Grant that Des Moines Public Schools received. Yes, we can go ahead and some cheering there. Yeah. Last week, the state of Iowa announced 19 school districts across the state had been awarded funds for the new Teacher and Paraeducator Apprenticeship Pilot Program. DMPS was one of those districts and was awarded over $1.1 million. Those funds are available thanks to the Federal American Rescue Plan Act. This program is designed to help meet the need of more educators. It will provide opportunities for current high school students and adults to earn a paraeducator certificate and associate's degree, and for paraeducators to earn their bachelor's degree, all while learning and working in the classroom. We had a great team that worked on and secured this grant for Des Moines Public Schools, and they are Theron Hobbs, our recruitment and retention coordinator, Tasha Brown, our director of Central Campus, one of our counselors, Jennifer Scott, and Lori Breno, our grant specialist. I'd like to invite this team to please come up and share with us a little about how your work on this grant will be put to good use. A-team, come on up.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief with my words, though I can go on if I want to. So I want to say thank you very much to this wonderful team here. Pretty much this work for me is both personal and professional. Being a product of the Oakland Public School District in California, I knew what it was like for people to say, you got to get up out of the community to make something of yourself, and I wanted something different for our students and staff. I wanted them, if they want to stay in Des Moines, to be in Des Moines and to give them all the opportunity and support necessary to advance their career, especially as classroom educators, because we need that. So first, he's here. He's not up here right now, but I want to thank Peter LeBlanc for bringing it to my attention about this grant and trusting me to get the work done. We got it done within a 3-week process, and it was very stressful. Lori Breno is going to come up, or she may or may not speak, but I remember reaching out to her like, oh, grant writer, take care of that. It'll be easy. And this is my translation of what she said, not hers. Brother, it's not that easy. So, so we put in the work and spent some time late in hours, 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, to make sure we got the language right, make sure everything was in place so that way our students can have the foot up in pursuing their careers, and that our staff can have the upward mobility necessary to be the educators that we definitely need for our classrooms. So I want to turn it over to these wonderful ladies who were very integral in this work, and once again, just want to thank Peter LeBlanc and everyone else involved. So, ladies.
Thanks, Aaron. Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and celebrate in this recognition. I want to connect the importance of this grant to work that we've been engaged in as a school district and our town hall, anti-racist town hall findings, which was to try to diversify our workforce. I think there's also an unspoken goal. So yes, I'm doing a shameless plug for an opportunity for a potential future board goal, and that is to redefine what it means to be a Des Moines Public School graduate. When we think about generational and situational poverty in our community, giving our students, ensuring that our students before they walk across the stage, not after, the opportunity to be in a career pathway that is going to allow them to earn a family sustainable wage within 6 years of graduating high school, which aligns with our Future Ready data and profile, an opportunity to have health care and benefits, and an opportunity for upward mobility. I believe that that's a commitment that as a school district, we can and should be making for every single graduate, and I believe that this work is connected to that. I want to just also recognize the fact that the Department of Education put this out because they have been partners in recognizing that there is a shortage. And so I think that this grant is just really good work of how the state is supporting public education through this grant. And I really also want to lift up the work of the talent support team here in Des Moines Public Schools, specifically Peter and Theron. When Peter stepped into his role, he took the time to spend some time at Central Campus. He took the time to spend time with me and my team to learn about the work and what our vision for career and technical education and future-ready Des Moines Public School graduates. And he obviously took that to heart because he is the one that, brought this opportunity, to our team. So thank you very much for that. And Theron has just jumped in with both feet. He had a pretty significant learning curve, but he is just doing all of the things. And I just cannot celebrate you enough in your impact in such a short time that you've had on the whole organization. And so I want to commend you for that. And I'm really, really grateful to get to work with both of you. And of course, Jen and Lori, that were really the masters of all of the data and the narratives for the grant and problem solving and working through that. So thank you so much for that collaboration. I think this is a really good example of how Des Moines Public Schools, I really do believe that we, because of a career center like Central Campus and because of just our organization and our system, we have access to resources and things that a lot of other school districts in the state of Iowa don't have. I think that we can optimize and capitalize better on what we currently have, and this is an opportunity for that. We talk a lot about community engagement and partnerships with businesses, but I think at times we have failed to recognize ourselves as a local employer. And this shows that DMPS is a local employer. So when we talk about partnering with businesses and industries to create opportunities for our workforce, but then to create opportunities for our students, we're finally seeing ourselves as an employer. And right after we applied for this grant, we also just finalized some paperwork for a registered apprenticeship with our own IT department. So Lisa Irie, the Director of Technology, and her team were very open to figuring out how do we give kids opportunities within our own IT department that are interested in that career field. And so we have students already working for us starting this summer in that area. And I'm going to totally put Dave Berger on blast because our operations department is up next. And I know him and Jamie are open to collaborating and finding ways for our students interested in skilled trades and construction to also be a part of our workforce here in Des Moines. I'll keep it short. I just want to continue to invite everyone to the table to capitalize and optimize on what we can do when we work together and think, not just think outside of the box, but remove that box. And so this grant is going to give each one of our students, specifically in the Teacher Academy, but they don't necessarily have to go through that, about access to $40,000 to pay for their tuition to continue that. And so I just am excited to see where this work grows, and I'm just really appreciative of everybody in this room that has supported that and will continue to support us. Thank you so much.
You want to do a quick picture of these folks? Mr. LeBlanc, Director LeBlanc, we need you in this picture, sir. You can put him right in the middle. Looks super little bitty. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And so that wraps it up for our district recognitions tonight. I just want to also say, though, that it feels good to be able to be back in a place where we are recognizing the student staff in our community. And so you can absolutely look forward to having these presentations every time we get together and gather, because celebrating is important. So thank you again, everybody, Junior Achievement, and our grant writing team. Thank you all so much.
Next on the agenda are consent items. We allow any person the opportunity to speak to the board for up to 5 minutes following the presentation of an agenda item. If anyone wishes to speak to an agenda item, please email rosa.rivera-hernandez@dmschools.org. Remarks must be germane to the agenda, and we ask that you avoid reference to personalities and character attacks, as those types of comments serve no productive purpose. We appreciate your input. As a reminder to the board and public, the board will not engage in discussion or deliberation with a speaker regarding comments made to agenda items. Discussion and deliberation will remain among board members at the board table, with speakers' comments informing said discussion, deliberation, and determinations as deemed necessary. Ms. Rivera, do we have any speakers this evening?
Yes, we do. I'd like to call up Brandon Oliver. You have 5 minutes.
Again, Brandon Oliver. I live at 1400 Walnut Street, Des Moines, Iowa, 50309. This is a comment on the student practicum and teaching contracts. Each agreement included in this agenda item has a list of responsibilities of DMPS. To my knowledge, we are not intentional with placements in regards to equity and anti-racism work, unless individual principals are taking it upon themselves to make it happen. And that depends on the principal's understanding of equity and anti-racism. I hope I'm wrong, but just in case, I have an idea for a solution. I feel it would be in line with the guardrail regarding perpetuating anti-racist systems if the language in the list of responsibilities for each agreement were to include that students will be placed with teachers who exhibit anti-racist teaching strategies, practices, and behaviors, rather than the current vague language of, quote, qualified DMPS staff, end quote. What does qualified mean? I think it's too vague. In my opinion, our future is worth more than this vague language. And like AJ said in the latest work session, let's protect the values that are described in the guardrail. We need to be intentional with every part of our system when it comes to equity. It's one thing to try to recruit and retain Black, brown, and Indigenous employees. It's another thing to make sure we are not a breeding ground of problematic educators due to our lack of intentionality when placing practicum students and student teachers. Not only this, but teachers who accept practicum students and student teachers receive license renewal credits. So we would potentially be giving renewal credits to teachers who may not be leading with an equity lens. This maintains the status quo and quite possibly retains problematic staff who make their Black, brown, or Indigenous colleagues want to leave. Also, this may function to promote teachers to do much needed work. I see that as a good thing. Equity work can sometimes seem or even be exhausting, but it's worth it. Let's show every college on this list, every college student, every teacher, every DMPS student, and our community that we will leave no stone unturned when it comes to bending the arc toward justice. This would mean we need a way to measure whether or not a teacher is prepared to lead in an equitable manner. I'm confident we can find a way to do this. And eventually, we may even be able to include this on all evaluations. Let's be intentional with who we let influence the next generation of teachers. Let's follow the guardrails. Let's be revolutionary. Let's work toward liberation. And as a side note, I think we should add the pronunciations to student names in Infinite Campus, as this would help with our inclusion and affirmation efforts. I think it would potentially help our practicum students and student teachers too. And just think how much easier it would be at promotion and graduation ceremonies if we had easy access to accurate pronunciations of names. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all the speakers we have signed up.
Thank you. Before I have Ms. Sawyer read the consent motion, we will go ahead and approve our consent items minus D2 and D9. We will vote on those separately. Ms. Sawyer, I believe you have the consent motion.
Yes, I move that the board approve the consent items in accordance with the recommended action for each item on the consent agenda, including bills previously authorized, certified, and approved for payment by the board secretary in the amount of $5,038,576.81, and procurement card transactions in the amount of $806,645.60.
Is there a second?
Nora, second.
We have a motion by Ms. Sawyer and a second by Ms. Norris. Any discussion or questions? Board members, please cast your votes. Vote is approved, 6-0. Next, we will go back to item D2, which is approval of minutes for our June 7th meeting. May I have a motion to accept?
Sawyer, so moved.
And second?
Caldwell Johnson, second.
We have a motion by Ms. Sawyer and a second by Ms. Caldwell Johnson. Board members, please cast your votes. Vote is approved, 4 with 2 abstaining. Next is item D9, the non-bargained increases for fiscal year 2023. Ms. Caldwell Johnson, I know that you pulled that for a vote.
I did, Madam Chair. I've had a chance to talk to our superintendent on this matter, and I just want to express that I'm concerned that the process we use for determining bargaining and non-bargained increases have the same intent with outcomes achieved that are proportionally different across the employee groups. A percentage total package increase is not the same as a percentage salary increase. I'm not suggesting that our employees don't deserve an increase. I'm just questioning the process that we utilize to determine the distribution of those increases. So I'll be voting no on this tonight because the equitable distribution of the increases is not inherent in the process that we currently use across the district.
Thank you, Ms. Caldwell Johnson. We will now put item D9 to a vote. May I have a motion and a second for item D9?
Sawyer, so moved.
Martirano, second.
We have a motion by Ms. Sawyer and a second by Ms. Martirano. Board members, please cast your votes. The vote is approved 4-2. Next on the agenda, we have only one informational item, that is item E1, notice of award of competitive quotes. Please make sure you take a look at that. Next on the agenda is items of privilege. Do I have any board members that would like to share anything this evening?
I just want to share that I dropped by the leadership event that took place yesterday, and I got to sit in one of the sessions. It was actually led by Mary, and it was really good. It was just really good to see leaders engaging. There was such great energy because people were, I don't think anybody's seen each other for a really long time, and it was great to see learning in action and some smiles along the way by all of the administrators and teachers that were in attendance. It was great.
I would just like to bring everyone's attention to the consent item that we are voted on. And when you look at management limitations, just to inform you all that we've talked about this previously, but our management limitations, we will be removing those as we're moving into our SOFG work. Many of you have heard us use the word guardrails and interim guardrails. We approved those interim guardrails back on February 1st of 2022. We were then working with our interim superintendent to change some of those interim guardrails, which we did have a discussion on last week, and there was a consensus of the board to accept those. So what you can see moving forward is the removal of the language of the management limitations. We will no longer be using those. We will be using our guardrails effective July 1st. So you will see that shift as you look on the website. And so we'll make sure that you can see those on the website, and you will have access to those guardrails and interim guardrails. So I just wanted to make that clear if anyone had any questions about why are we removing this language? This is a part of our SOFG work that we will continue to do, and we will continue to communicate any changes that we make as we're moving into this work, as we're learning more about it. But I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that this evening. Hearing nothing else, I'll turn it over to our interim superintendent.
How about now?
There you go.
Perfect. Just want to echo Mrs. Norris's comments and just thank all the, I think, nearly 600 leaders that gathered yesterday in the Iowa Event Center. We descended upon that event venue and engaged in a lot of fellowship and learning, and it was really, really exciting to see everyone there. The keynote was amazing, and I want to thank all the folks. I was the keynote. Sorry about that. Yes, thank you. Which I can tell you fell super flat when it came to after having to follow Dwana after hearing Dwana's keynote for Juneteenth. So I also wanted just to personally thank, there's a number of folks that were involved in organizing and creating that sort of synchronistic feel of how things flow on a day like that when you have nearly 600 folks in a room, all calibrated on around the same mission and vision and the focus of how we actually serve students and serve one another. So I just want to thank each of those. There's a number of them that I could thank, but just know that we appreciate you and we love you dearly, so thanks so much.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We are going to adjourn our meeting at 6:14 p.m.